Okay, hello. Exactly two people asked me for a tutorial on how to make the off-shoulder shirt, so here you go. Step one, you just take literally any t-shirt pattern that you like, that fits you well, and you fold down the little shoulder part at the top, and you just cut it right across there. I just guessed like halfway down the arm side. Seemed cool, so yeah, it worked out, so that's what we're going with. And then you put a pin in the center front because you want to keep the center marked for when we put the band on. So yeah, that's how you do the front of it. And then we're going to do the same thing to the back of the shirt. You grab your back pattern piece and you fold it down. No exact measurements, just about halfway down the armscye. You fold it down. You just fold it down, fold down the top of it, about halfway down. Yeah, you just find the halfway point, fold it, and yeah, that's really all you need to do. Again, it doesn't have to be exact because you're going to sew on the sleeves and you're going to sew the front and the back, and then you got to try it on and make sure that the height of the off-shoulderness is good for you. I think I ended up trimming off a little bit because it was too high, but if it's too high, you can trim it down. If it's too low, you can make your band taller than I make mine. There's a lot of flexibility, so if you're like worried about how it's going to turn out, you don't have to. You can completely wing this and it'll turn out cute no matter what. I promise. So yeah, you just cut this out, and then after this we're going to cut out the sleeves. So once you cut that out, you're going to cut out the sleeves, and I forgot to record that part. So basically you just cut out the whole sleeve, or at least I did, because I didn't feel like measuring how much of the shoulder I cut off the front and back and transferring that measurement. I didn't feel like doing that. So I just cut off the whole sleeve. And then when I sewed it together, I just matched up the side seam to the side of the front and the back. And that's all I did. And then here's a clip of me sewing. And this is why I don't take clips of me sewing, because I look angry, and I made that face because I almost hit a pin. And I promise this is my favorite hobby. It's just sometimes I don't look like I'm enjoying myself, but I promise I'm having a great time. So anyway, you sew the sleeve to the front and the back, and then you sew down the side seam. So the next step is to chop off the top of the sleeves because we don't need it. So this is what you should have so far. The sleeves are attached, the side seams are sewn down. We are like 80% done. So then we're gonna fold this whole thing in half. We gotta find the center of the sleeves and the center of the front and back. And we're gonna match everything up and fold it in half. There it goes. Okay, fold it in half and lay it out so it's nice and flat. And you want to just make sure that the seams of the sleeves are aligned well, and you want to make it flatter, like on top. Like if you can see, the armpit area is just a little bubbled up. That doesn't really matter. It'll be fine. I was a little hesitant. I was a little scared to cut this. I was like, ooh, I hope I don't mess it up. I speak with a lot of confidence now because I finished it and it looked great. So we didn't have to hesitate. I'm just going to grab my ruler here in a moment and just kind of slice this bad boy. See, I was going to cut it. I was going to cut it without the ruler, and I changed my mind. I thought I needed more security. So I grabbed my ruler and then I laid that down. And I did do a little bit of a curve at the shoulder. So once you cut off the little tip of the sleeve and just make sure everything is nice and trued up, it will be straight. And then you can open it up. This is where I tried it on. I don't recommend trying it on because depending on your fabric, it could really warp the neckline. So if your fabric is a little bit flimsier or has a little less recovery, you want to do a little basting stitch around the neckline before you try it on. And then you can decide if you want to cut it lower or cut it higher or whatever. So anyway, after I did that, I measured the opening for the band, and I will put the formula that I followed to get the band measurement on the screen. Okay, next, after you cut out the band, you're going to section the neckline and section the band into quarters so that you can line them up. The band will have to stretch around the neckline, so as you're sewing, you want to stretch the band and try not to stretch the neckline of your shirt too much. And then once you get that sewn together, you can pretty much be done. So the last step is to sew the band onto the neckline. I also have bands on the bottom of my sleeves, but more importantly, this fabric turned my nails blue. And I'm only a little bit upset about that. I'll just do them again, but I didn't realize how blue they were until I saw this clip, which is hilarious to me. So anyway, okay, once you get all the bands sewn on and get all hemmed up, you should have something that looks like this. So if you try this out, please send it to me, tag me. I would love to see any attempts. Sometimes I'll be skipping steps, so if you have questions, feel free to DM me. Anyway, thanks for watching this episode, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!